Hi, this is Scott with the Android Guys podcast. This is another episode of the Weekend Recommender, or so we'll call it for now. If you listen to the last one, you'll know that it is a kind of a roundup of reviews of different things that we're playing with, things that have crossed our path here in the office. Joining me again is Luke. Hello, Luke.
Hello, Scott.
So we've had a busy week. We've played with a handful of things. Looks like you've got about 3 things to talk about this time, and I've got a handful of things, but I'll kick it off to you and let you take it away. So what have you been playing with lately?
The first thing is the Tribit Quiet Plus 50. These are a Bluetooth headphone. We did an unboxing of them, and then I took them home and messed around with them. These are noise-canceling headphones. They have Bluetooth 5.0, 40-millimeter speaker driver. They work up to 15 meters away, 30-hour playtime, USB-C charge. Pretty standard stuff. Come in at $60. They're cool. They have an active noise canceling toggle, so you can turn that on and off when you're using them. They're comfortable. They have a nice comfortable earpiece, and they have a snap open, so they seem sturdy. Now, the one thing I noticed that I didn't necessarily love is on that snap open, if you have them on and you take an ear cup off to try and listen to somebody, if somebody's talking to you or something like that, it's very stiff. It's definitely wants to push against the back of your ear or something if you try and slide it off and just do a one earphone. But that's not what they're made for. So
Sure.
When you're wearing them, they are comfortable. They have a nice sound quality. It's not a really robust bass. It's a warm sound for sure, but it's not anything that's I would say revolutionary to me.
Sure.
And the one other thing, it's got a really nice looking, kind of a matte or almost maybe satin matte finish that looks sleek and stylish. But if you got any kind of greasy paws, you're going to see them all over the place.
Yep. So I'm looking at them here, and 2 things stand out to me. They look incredibly soft, the padding around the ear cups and across the top.
Yep, definitely.
The band. But yep. I can see
everywhere I've touched them.
Well, I mean, that happens with a lot of phones and a lot of cases. I mean, that's tough to combat sometimes. But that black, you can definitely.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. That's not a deterrent from purchasing. I mean, I guess unless you're very much against that.
Sure.
That problem, but they're very easy to use. They come with a 3.5 millimeter jack. So if you want to plug into something without doing wireless, you can do that. USB A to C charger. I will say that the charger is, I would say, maybe 4 inches long at the most.
Little cable.
So it's gonna sit on your desk or hang from the wall if you're trying to plug it in on the wall. It's not a lot of cord, but any USB charger will work. If your phone charger, if you're not using it, you can plug it into that. That should be fine. But yeah, pleasantly surprised by these. They're comfortable and they sound good. And I mean, Bluetooth 5.0 is just great. Right.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that the 15 meters. So if you put your phone down, you can walk pretty far from to get your source. Yep. I think these are the second Tribit headphones or product to come our way here in the last couple of months. We had some wireless earbuds that also were priced very affordably, and we were pleasantly surprised with those as well. So this might be a brand to kind of keep our eye on.
Yeah.
So those were what? The Tribit?
The Quiet Plus 50.
Quiet Plus 50.
That come in at $60 MSRP.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about you?
So we live in a very uncertain time, right?
Yeah.
This pandemic's got everybody acting crazy.
Sure.
One of the things that has really kind of taken our focus now is cleanliness, sanitization, and just keeping things wiped down and just germ free. So this week I had the chance to use the Coral UV. It's an ultraviolet um, it's about the size of a cooler, a small cooler or a bread maker.
Right.
So if you're playing 20 questions, is it bigger than a bread? It's about that size. And it's a dryer. So this thing, it's about $150. It's you flip it open and you put in there's a couple of UV lights in there. So this is big enough for you to put in, say 6 baby bottles is kind of how they measure that. But I would say, I've put a handful of things in there. There's a little tray that you can kind of drop in phone, keys, eyeglasses, car keys, things that you touch on a regular basis, writing utensils, a lot of that stuff, we didn't realize how much we were touching these things.
Sure.
So that is something that, you can definitely throw in here. Put it in, hit the button if you want to sanitize with UV light, or if you want to dry. If there's actually a drying capability in here too. So if you have let's say you have baby bottles and you want to keep them germ free, you can, you wash them out, put them in there, and they'll dry. There's a little panel in the back with a filter, so that'll dry. The air will come out of that. It's very quiet. I was impressed with, it's just a light. Yeah. So when you turn it on, you're not going to hear anything really. But even the dryer, if you put that, you can set variable length if you need something that's 40 minutes, 50 minutes. UV light, you're talking maybe 2 minutes or something like that.
Right.
Really to kind of get something. But put it in there, hit the button, and say 10 minutes, and you kind of walk away, and it'll count down. You can see it on top. There's a readout that shows you exactly how much time is left on that.
Yeah.
One of the modes that I really like is kind of like this continuous mode, and the name of that escapes me at the moment, but you can put your, let's say, your items in there as you leave for the day, and you want to come back tomorrow for work. You can have it so that it will do like a 2-hour cleaning cycle, drying, and then it will kick on and do it for 2 minutes at a time every 2 hours for up to 24 hours.
Oh, just to maintain that sanitization.
Yes. So if you're really concerned with, hey, I don't want this, if this gets opened up and somebody grabs a baby bottle and pulls it out and shut it, you can set that so that you're like, hey, I'm going to have this thing run.
Sure.
Go to bed at night and let it just continuously sanitize and dry. So it's pretty lightweight, pretty quiet. Plug it in. It fits on most desks. My wife is a massage therapist, so she uses cups. I don't know if you're familiar with those. This is going to be hers at the office, because she can use those between clients just to kind of throw them in there and sanitize them as she takes them off. And she'll clean them later, put them in there to dry. But it's a nice, it looks almost like a space cooler.
Right.
You got the reflective sides on there. But
right.
The basket's nice if you just want to toss a couple of things in without having to reach down in there. It's a pretty cool little unit. It's called the Coral UV Sanitizer and Dryer, and that runs about $150. You can find that at Coral UV. That's CORALUV.com. So that was my first one. Back to you.
Sticking on the cleaning and sanitization train, we got some cloth wipes in, some individually packaged from iCloth, and that's iCloth.io if you wanted to check out their site. But they sent us 2 different kinds. They sent us a XL wipe and then a personal size wipe. The XL would be for things like wiping your TV down, or stainless steel kind of appliances, or
refrigerator handles, dishwasher,
doorknobs, stuff like that. It'll work on glass, polycarbonate. The wipes are 70% alcohol, so there's no ammonia, there's no ethyl alcohol. So it's all, CDC standard sanitization stuff. Personal wipes would be something for like a phone or a tablet, eyeglasses.
So there are different
lenses.
sizes
Yes.
to these. They're physical wipes.
Right. And they're nice. There's lint free They're kind of a woven material, so they'll pick up dust real easy. They're streak free on glass or surfaces or screens. I noticed when I used it on my computer screen. I used it on my phone. I used it on my keyboard, and it was all streak free. It worked really well. And they're, like I said, they're individually packaged, so you can just open one up. They all stay moist. It's not like you have to open it, make sure you close the lid, or you dry out the rest of them.
Nice.
They're all individually packaged, and it's just that, you notice as soon as you open it, you can get that isopropyl alcohol smell. You know, it smells very sterile, very clean, but it also evaporates very quickly.
Sure.
So it's not like you're stuck with a wet surface or anything like that.
Right.
It cleans up really, really nice and really fast.
You should use them on those headphones you got sitting right there.
I think that's a great idea. But the XL wipes, it's a 24-pack for $25. And then the personal wipes are a 50-pack for $35.
Gotcha.
And you can get them from their website. And then also, it looks like on Amazon, they have a couple different size packages that are different prices, but all the same 70% isopropyl and same material and everything. But that's the iCloth, iCloth.io. They work really well.
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to take a look at a handful of different phone cases.
Yeah.
We have a number of phones here that we're reviewing right now. So among them are the Pixel 4a, Pixel 4a with 5G, and the Pixel 5. So we kind of put the feelers out to a couple of different companies to see if they had anything that they'd like to submit to us to check out. And a few of them I did have a chance to play with this week. And these are going to be the ones that I talk about. They're not just exclusive to these models of phones. So if I talk about this being on the Pixel 5, you can also find it for probably 3 or 4 other models, maybe a lot of Samsung, iPhone.
Right.
They're more of like a product line. So the first one I've got here is Vena or Vena. It's Vena. So they sent us over one for each of those phones, the 4A, the 4A with 5G, and the 5. They're going to be about $50 each. These are a folio style. This is called the V Commute. So this comes in what they call space gray, and you put it on your phone, and it basically gives you the protective case around the back of it, the edges around the screen itself, but it also has a slot for you to put in a card or two, a credit card.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've used their stuff in the past. I really like it when I go, out of town. If I'm in a hotel, I don't want to carry around my wallet, especially if I'm, at the beach or something.
Yeah.
It's one less thing to lose. So I put my phone, put that case on, and I'll put the card in there. But this is also nice if you like to, maybe on your lunch break or when you have downtime, you can actually open it up so that you can set the back up as almost like a tripod of sorts.
Yeah, it's kind of like a kickstand.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a built-in kickstand, so you can turn your phone sideways and watch YouTube videos or whatever. These are about $50. You'll find them again. These are Vena, Vena. You could find those at venaproducts.com. So there's a handful of them in different models. That's one of the brands that I looked at this week. Another one is Blue Element, and that's BLU Element. And their website is bluelement.com, Blue Element. They have a handful of different products. We were sent a couple things for the 4A 5G and the 5. One is the Drop Zone Clear, which is a clear hard shell case that you put on your phone. So if you have if your phone is black, there's not a whole lot to show off on that particular model. It's kind of an uninspired design with the Pixel, but if you have the Sword of Sage, you have the green one, or any other model, if you have this, it's called the Drop Zone Clear. It's completely clear. Like you can see through all edges of it, so it gives you a chance to show off the color that you pick out. Right. It's light. It goes on nice and easy. These are impact resistant, so these are going to be designed. You can see there's reinforced corners on there that if you drop it on the edges, it's going to pick up. It's going to brace that for impact a little better for you. Real nice cutouts for all of your ports, your fingerprint reader, camera, and then you've got your buttons on the outside. They don't really impact the response. I've noticed that you can put it on there and you're not going to feel like it's dull or softer. You still get that same feedback from that. So this is the Drop Zone Clear, and I've got it for the 5 as well, basically the exact same. Yep. And then they also sent us the Folio 2-in-1, and this is similar to the Vina, but this one's more of it's a fabric that you put on your, you've seen a lot of people that I think is becoming more and more popular. It is a folio. It's like a wallet. Turns your phone into, if you're carrying around multiple cards or, hotel room keys, cash, receipts, things like that. This is a really nice case. It's got a gray finish to it. Yeah. It's going to hold multiple cards on there. I would say easily 4 or 5 cards before it starts to feel thick. Yeah. It's got a nice professional design to it. It looks like it's modern. It doesn't look like something out of the 80s where you're like, oh, look at this brown leather with the stitching. Like, this is a nice gray. Yeah. It's got a magnetic clasp on the outside, so when you kind of fold it shut, it'll automatically kind of bite that so that you can keep that nice and closed. Your phone basically locks into place in a case that's kind of attached to the rear of a folio. So it has a nice bite to it. You can see also that you can remove the case from inside of the folio.
Yeah, it's magnetic.
Yep. So what's nice about that is it also keeps that same fabric to it. It's got that design. So if you decide, you know what, I'm just going to go with just the phone alone today, leave the folio, back at the hotel room or at the office. I'm just going out to lunch, take the phone. It's a nice design. These are only $35.
It's really nice for that price point. It looks like the front has a hole in the front, like a little tiny slit for the earpiece. So it looks like you could even use it closed.
I haven't, but you're probably right. I would imagine
That's
that.
Very interesting. I haven't seen anything like that yet.
Yeah, so you can.
And the leather is very soft too.
Yeah, I've seen some of these in the past where you're just kind of like, you know what? That's not my style.
Sure.
But that, to me, it looks almost like something Google might have come up with.
Absolutely.
With with their Nest line or something like that.
Especially with the removable case aspect to it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of versatility, and you've seen things that are at least this same quality seemingly for way more.
Yeah, I would say probably double.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got that for the 4A 5G here. We also have it for the 5. That's not generally the style that I carry around. I've got a smaller wallet that I keep and just a few cards, but that's something that I might have to consider, trying to live with for a while. Yeah. That's pretty nice. Again, that was Blue Element. That was the Folio 2-in-1. Next up, Spec. We've seen that brand around for years. They've been in the game for a long time. The Presidio Exotech line. They've got it out for. We have the 4A 5G here. This is just as good as it's ever been, if not better now. The edges feel a little bit more pronounced than they used to feel when you grab that. It's a very nice. It's pliable, but it doesn't feel cheap. Sometimes when you go with like a thin, flexible case, you don't feel like you have much protection. Right. That's not really the case here. Spec does a really good job. I'm not a fan of like a white case with like purple grip or something that might be mulberry with pink. I like the black. I like something that's a little bit more understated, something that doesn't draw too much attention. And that's what you have here on this one. This particular model is, I believe, they just call it black, but this also has military or mil-spec ratings, so it's tested to take some pretty serious drops. Nice. It's shockproof, according to them, so that's going to be your zones if you see at the corners as well. It's kind of got that little bit of a cutout to it, but it's designed so that if your phone goes falling out of your pocket, it's not going to hurt too bad. So Spec, this is the Presidio Exotech with grips. These are about $40, and you'll find that for quite a few phone models.
Nice.
And then last up, I've got the Bodyguards. They sent over a couple of things for the Pixel 5. One is the Pure to Edge or Pure 2 Edge. This is basically a tempered glass screen protector. We've seen that from other manufacturers, but
Sure.
you put that on there, and that's going to protect your phone, the screen itself. This isn't necessarily a case, but this is what you put over your phone. Sometimes when you put them on, you can definitely feel the difference from the way your finger glides over the glass.
Sure.
I always recommend, if that's something you're considering, put it on your phone as quickly as possible.
Right.
That way you're used to it. You
Right.
know, you don't feel like, hey, this thing feels like it's got more of like a screen to it or a film to it.
Sure.
But that's going to give you protection on top of your phone. They also sent over, Bodyguard sent the Carve, which is a case, and that's a clear case. So that's what you would put on your phone, similar to what we talked about here earlier, but it's crystal clear. Put it on your phone, protects it against drops, protects it against scuffs. It's got some ridges along the edge so you can grip it nicely. And it also has, I believe this is the one that has the microban, or the antimicrobial, protection on there. So these are going to be easy to wipe down. These are going to be easy to clean. If you're using any type of wipes or things like that, you're going to have no problem keeping it clean. Some of the cases I've tested in the past, when they're clear, just regular protective rubber cases, they tend to feel slippery.
Right.
You know, and they pick up, the oils just as bad as, I mentioned with like the headphones and things like that. That's not really the case here. This one here, you don't quite get the slippery feeling that you find with some other phones. This one, I like Bodyguards. They are they're a good brand. They've been around for a while. Actually, I like all these brands here, and would easily recommend any one of those. So for Bodyguards with the tempered glass screen protector, it's nice because if you decide to go with another case, that's still going to work. So you can put that on there. That's about $35. And then the Bodyguards Carve case is about $30. So take a look at those. You can find them at Bodyguards. That's with a Z. You can do bgzbrands.com.
Nice.
We'll take you to them as well. So that was quite a few cases, but that if you have a new phone, not necessarily those mentioned here, but maybe something else that you're picking up, even some of the new iPhones, keep an eye out on those different brands. You'll find something that you definitely would like there.
Cool.
So that's product-wise it for me.
Yeah. I got one more. Yeah, I got one more. It's the Aukey Omnia Mini, or the Omnia Nano. This is just a little plug brick that you would plug into the wall, and then put in your USB-C cable to charge a phone or a device.
Okay.
It's a 20 watt. It's got a PD port for plugging your cable in as a USB-C out. 18 watt quick charge. It's there's really not much to say about it. Nothing super special except for the size and the fact that it is 18 watt quick charge. It looks
it's smaller than what
It's
usually
very
comes
small.
in your box with a phone.
right. It has a little bit of weight to it, which is interesting. It feels almost weightier than most chargers.
Yeah, it feels like there's something artificial about the
Right.
weight.
But it doesn't. So the prongs of the plug are uniform. There's no bigger side, so it'll work no matter which way you turn it. You don't have to think about which way to plug it in if you in the middle of the night, or you're trying to find your bag and it's dark and you're trying to plug in. You don't have to fumble around and flip around to try and plug it in the right way. It comes in black and white. We have the black one. The white one would match, whatever color your phone is, or if if it matters for you, the cord color. Most of the Pixels come with a white cord now, so if that matters to you.
So with that, I mean, there's really not a lot you can do to make these things sound sexy.
Right.
There's not so much that you could spend 5-10 minutes at length about this. What's the price of something like that, though?
$15.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
I mean,
So that's one of the big draws right there.
Especially for a quick charge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it's so affordable. And it's low profile. It's not
right.
You know, 2 of these together would equal probably the size of your brick for your phone.
Yeah.
Your phone came with.
Well, I can't really imagine shaving anything else off of that.
No.
I mean, some of that has to be able to just hold the prongs
right
in there. So,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's Aki, so we've reviewed their other bricks, and they're definitely quality. There's some rounded corners. It feels nice in your hands.
Yeah.
It feels well made. This is definitely easily worth the $15.
And that's called the Omnia?
The Omnia Mini or the Omnia Nano.
Okay.
And you can get those on Amazon from Aki. Generally, you can find them, just Google and you can find them about anywhere.
Well, we've played with a handful of their products over the years, and they're always interesting.
Yeah.
They're nice counterparts to...
Yeah, and they have these nice like orange accents inside the plug, so...
Attention to things that you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, no. They're doing things they don't have to do to make it just interesting.
Right.
So, yeah, that's it for hardware.
All right.
What do you got for...
I've got an app.
Ooh, an app.
I've got a game. So I'm one of those guys lately where if I'm scrolling Facebook or Instagram and it suggests a game to me, I'm checking it out.
Sure. Okay.
I just want to see who's promoting what and to see whether or not it's any good.
Right.
This particular one is called Tangle Master 3D.
Okay.
This is a free game to install from the Google Play Store. It's a simple premise. It's basically, I'm sure you've seen it before, you have a number of ropes that are basically tied in a knot or tied to a rod, and you plug they're like caps, so you have to be strategic and you have to move. And this is going to be incredibly maybe frustrating to people listening if they can't see it. So I would recommend check it out. Our YouTube channel will have video of this. But you have to basically untangle these ropes as quickly as you can.
Sure.
And you have to do it in so many moves. And then from there you kind of pick up these coins and move about your way. So you'll start out with like maybe a red and a green rope, and they're just kind of tangled, one over the other, and all you have to do is pull them apart.
Right.
But when you start to introduce a third and a fourth rope, you have to kind of figure out what's your plan of attack. So it sounds great, sounds lots of fun. It is easy to pick up, it's easy to play, but there are so many ads. It's almost quite literally after every single round you're being presented with an advertisement of some sort.
Sure.
And I'm okay with that. I get it. A lot of games, that's just the way they're supported. But some of these levels are so easy that you're being hit with an ad. It's almost like you're being presented with a challenge between advertisements.
Right.
And that's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's $3 to remove the ads.
Oh.
So 99 cents, I would have had no problem saying, hey, that's worth it. I feel like I've already given them $30 worth of advertisement.
Right, exactly.
Just by playing the game.
I mean, yeah, you handed it over to me while you've been talking. I've played two levels, and I've seen 2 ads.
Yep.
3 ads.
So one of the really maddening things was you start to accumulate these, I think they're stars along the way. When you get so far, it basically fills up this chest so that you can collect some prize. So hold that thought. As you're playing throughout the game, and if, let's say, for instance, you didn't complete your level in enough moves, the game either ends or you've seen this in other games. Hey, if you watch this ad or this clip for 30 seconds, we'll let you continue on, like an extra life or something. I was on this level and I completed it, and basically I had completed maybe 10 or so levels so far, accumulated all of the different things to add up to this prize. It made me either basically discard the prize or watch an ad to redeem the prize that I had already earned.
Wow.
So I'm literally going from level to level, picking up credit towards this.
Right.
You get to the point and it says unlocked or whatever, and you go to tap on it to redeem it, you have to watch a clip before you can redeem the thing you've earned. So that's frustrating.
And then there's probably an ad after you redeem it to get to the next level.
Yeah, it doesn't let up. It doesn't. Yeah. It isn't like your first couple of levels, and then we'll slowly.
Right.
It's really, man. The game has a nice polish to it, and I've already unlocked a couple different types of ropes and caps and the rods that the ropes are tied to. So there's enough to kind of keep you coming back. It's all
cosmetic though, right?
It's all cosmetic. Function. Yeah. So far. Yep, that's one of those ones where if you're...
Yeah, it's just a time waster, if you're sitting waiting for an appointment or something, or sitting on the potty.
Yeah, doing your business. It's a business app.
It's a business app. I noticed that it's much like if you're watching certain streaming services with commercials, it's the same commercial over and over again. You're seeing the same ad over and over again.
Yeah, that's all. Yep, that's another good point, because what you see as you're moving, I did 10 minutes of video capture as I was doing this to just kind of, because I wanted to show somebody.
Sure.
And I realized it's the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
And I get that there's certain ad partners or ad, providers out there that are saying, hey, we want to be inserted into games. But the selection of that is just, it almost makes me resent the things that they're advertising.
Sure.
It's like, I will never try this game that you keep showing me. I will never click on it.
Or is it, if they keep showing you, eventually you're like, all right, I've seen this 1,000 times. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, maybe tapping that ad gets rid of them.
Right, yeah.
Somehow it unlocks. So that game's called Tangle Master 3D. It's $3. I don't know, man. That's
free to install at $3.
Free to install. Play with it. Decide whether or not it's worth it to you every single time.
Sure.
But yeah, that was presented to me on Instagram, I think, this week, and so I thought, let's give that a shot.
Sure.
It's probably going to be uninstalled here later today, just because. But yeah, whatever. So that's it for me. Yeah. Looks like we're done. So this was the Weekend Recommender. Again, my name is Scott.
I'm Luke.
We appreciate you guys listening. We'll continue to check in with you guys about once a week with new products, new games, apps, things that kind of cross our path, and kind of give you guys a little bit more of a multimedia way of presenting some of the content that we would normally just do written. So if you enjoy it, let us know. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, we'd appreciate it if you did. And give us feedback. Let us know if there's a certain product, or if you think our descriptions aren't good enough, or if you think that this format is great or stupid or what. Love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it. You guys have a good week.